continuing on with the same particular format and recording this episode, I again would like to continue on with just the feel, the sound, and just the essence of how recording by sound as an audio podcast essentially is within the very nature of it. I believe that, for the majority of how podcasts are going nowadays, they are essentially moving towards video broadcast. Okay. And there's an art form to that. But I just love the essence of how audio broadcast just presents itself. So I'm going to be mixing it up for the most part, from audio to video broadcast, and just to celebrate the nature of that art form. Okay. And so with this, I would like to just continue that feel for this particular platform and recording an audio broadcast for the subject matter for today, which is living your life to the fullest, living your life large, because life is essentially too short. Just recently earlier today, I had discovered that one of my coworkers from one of the hospitals from the Cleveland area that I used to work for, not too long ago, just a few weeks ago, where I have transitioned. For those of you who have been following me, I have just recently transitioned from the Cleveland metropolitan area to here, to the West Valley in Phoenix, Arizona. And just recently, I just heard from a nurse manager over there at the other hospital in Cleveland that one of my coworkers had passed away. Just for the confidentiality and the privacy of the person who did pass, I'm just going to keep that confidential for the most part. And I would like to say that this particular individual has been fighting pancreatic cancer for over a year now, and even just to discover that she had retired, officially through medical leave during that time when I did discover that she was no longer working, that pretty much hit me too as well, impacted me in such a great way. And now she's going to be laid to rest within the next few days to a week. And just to remember the very essence of how that particular individual was, as far as working with her and conversing with her, and just the spirit of who she was, it is very difficult to even talk about it right now as we speak, for she is no longer here. And that just brings to light the very essence of how short life really is. 1 minute you may seem invincible as a young individual, from a child to your youth, and then middle age, and then currently now as I speak, I'm 48 years of age, and I'm not getting any younger. There's just been many people in the past, say, 2 to 3 years who have passed away, who have been younger than me, from former friends to people I had worked with, even more so from the past year, gone. And so this year, 2021, has been a very trying year for everyone. Just to think, earlier this year, I would have never even thought that I would be here in Phoenix, Arizona. I just recently had transitioned over here from Cleveland to the West Valley in Phoenix. And I gotta say, because I'm very systematic, I plan things out accordingly when when required, especially so when performing large tasks as transitioning, moving from one state to another, from one city to another. And I'm very systematic. Like I mentioned earlier, it's just, I'm very good at doing these type of things. To any particular individual, for people who have families, who have spouses, who have things to move, it could be quite a trying and very difficult transition when you're going from state to state with people, multiple people. For me, it was just my two dogs, my bull terrier, Louie, and my American bulldog, Chub Rock. And I had sold everything. And so from people who had been following me for the past few weeks, I had essentially got rid of everything. Tons of New Age books, which I've talked about previously, where I had a ceremony, a book burning per se, and I had literally got rid of 99% of my books, which were New Age books. I had sold the majority of my property, either selling them or just getting rid of them. Okay, and whatever was left over, I for the most part, just tossed it out in the trash bin that I rented out. And then, all the other difficulties that had happened in selling the house and all this. Of course, the house sold, thank goodness, thank God, amongst many other things, many obstacles, many bumps in the road, which had happened between that process and actually making that decision to move to the current now, where I am here. It is November, and here we are, closing out the year 2021. And so the premise of this particular episode is to clearly indicate how grateful I am to be here in this place, to having the opportunity to living my dreams. Life is too short. As I had mentioned previously, a coworker had passed away. A few coworkers had passed away from the past year or so. And there's the possibility that I'm going to be retiring in the next 10 years. And so I don't want to be, stuck in a place where I have essentially outgrown the very nature of this city. As far as the Midwest is concerned, this is my home. Okay, it's been my home for the longest of times, and I have literally outgrown it. I love Cleveland. I love the Cleveland Browns. I love Cleveland sports. I love the very essence of what Cleveland has done for me growing up. As far as my career in nursing, I have worked in many hospital systems, and it's come to the point where I have essentially reached the edge of my career, and it's trying because at one particular point, I asked myself, well, I could go back to this place that I used to work at, and that's where I drew the line. For me, it would essentially be the essence of going backwards, and I did not want to do that. I just did not want to do that. I have too many, I guess, experiences. I guess you could say ghosts and my own internal demons of past memories of things, and I just didn't want to go to that place. I wanted to evolve, and the one thing that would encourage me to, I guess, influence me to go in a certain fashion where I am evolving and going to a higher destination, as opposed to just merely walking backwards. The only way to actually do that, to encourage myself to evolve and move on to a higher place, a higher destination, was to move out of Cleveland. And I gotta say, I could not transition to a higher level of where I could essentially be in the podcasting world if I would have stayed in Cleveland. Okay, if that makes any type of sense. The only way that I could do so to evolve per se was to move to another destination, Phoenix, Arizona. And I did not want to be here 10 years later, where I had the opportunity in 2021 to make that move, to make that jump move, to finally establish my dreams, to be in a place where I wasn't afraid to jump to another higher destination. And then I just didn't want to be in that place. And now I have that opportunity. I have had that opportunity to do so, and I jumped on it. And for me to do so, considering where I have been, not only just in my career, just in my personal life, that was a big move for me. You know, my comfort zone is Cleveland. And to be able to jump into a place of discomfort, of unknowing, I am so grateful to God for giving me this opportunity to be in this place. And again, once more, life is too short. Life is absolutely too short. And if I were to just live for the next 5 years, but to be in this place and to live out my dreams, I would be a happy camper. I would absolutely be in a wonderful place, which I am today. And it is scary. I do have friends here. I do have many people who have moved to Arizona prior to even me making that decision to move to Arizona. And they have done so, and they have essentially, jumped over the edge in a place of discomfort as well. And I got to say, those people are influencers in my own life, inspirations. And from what I have noticed too as well, that there is a mass exodus of a transition from California to Arizona to Phoenix, from Oregon, Washington, from the West Coast to move to Phoenix. Something's happening here. Even from the Midwest, even from the East Coast, they are transitioning over here to Phoenix. And for me, that's where the mystery, that's where the excitement is gathering ever more so and stacking up. And I just got to say, for all the people who have helped me along this journey, I thank you so much for providing me with this opportunity. I want to send a super shout out to Laura Ross, nurse practitioner over here in the West Valley, who has helped me along that transition. God bless you. I love you so much. And thank you for allowing me to spread my wings. The opportunity to take this time to do things on my own, the amount of energy, emotion, and just your support has been such a godsend. And I also want to dedicate this broadcast to you too as well. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you, Laura. For my parents out there, I want to thank you too as well. For none of this would have ever even happened. I thank you so much. I love you so much. And for everything to have happened, there are so many moving pieces, moving parts. In order for all of that to come together and click together, that in itself has been such a wonderful miracle. And I am so grateful. Praise God. Praise the Lord. Okay. And it wasn't until I came back from that trip from Arizona back in April, and April was a pivotal time period, because that was the exact time when I started to walk away from the New Age. And shortly when I got back from that trip, it's just, and that was the thing about it too. I met a couple in Prescott, Arizona, also in northern Arizona, and I was heading out to that property, and I was at the Palace along Whiskey Row, and I met a couple, and very beautiful couple. They were also transplants from the Boston area, and I had the wonderful luxury of speaking to them, to conversing with them, to befriending them, and they bought me dinner, and they convinced me to move to Arizona. Now, at the time, during that conversation, I wasn't sold at all to move to the big AZ. But that conversation had always stayed with me since my return back from my trip from Arizona. And it just kept, the seed that they implanted within my psyche, it just kept on growing and growing and growing. And it never left me. And so I believe it wasn't until May, the end of May, when I made that decision to move to the big AZ. And so I started to, and again, it wasn't a legitimate determination that I was going to move. I was playing around with applications to different locations, and mostly for the northern Arizona region, as far as jobs, looking for hospitals for employability. And so I was playing with the thought, and then the thought just started to build even more. And then I wasn't getting any particular leads. I would apply. There's a few times when I would interview over the phone, as a virtual, and even on the computer, it was a virtual interview, and no hits. Okay. And then someone made the recommendation that I should start applying maybe to Phoenix, and even the thought of it was like, it's hot. Why would I even apply there? But again, I was just playing around with the whatever is out there. I started applying. Okay. And then the very first job that I applied for, I got an interview for. I interviewed for it, and I got it. And so I was like, okay, I got the job. And between that particular point, which was, I would have to say around July to now, or even a few weeks before now, which is right now as we speak, the timestamp it's mid-November. So the beginning of, I say the end portion of October to July of earlier this year, many things had happened. A lot of ups and downs. But after all of that, for me, again, I am a very systematic individual when it comes to planning things and making things happen. And so with me, it's just the ability to control whatever was out there was very important to me. But when I started to realize that some things were out of my hand, out of my control, I began to let go of the reins. And this is when I started to surrender to God. And I asked God, if this is what you would like to happen, if this is what you find best for me, then so be it. I give the control to you. And this is when I, again, once started to surrender to the Lord. And once I started to surrender to the Lord, and I started to give control to God, because God knows exactly what is best for us. Once I started to do that, things started to come into place. And that's the thing about it. When the last 10 years of my journey, this spiritual journey, if you want to call it that, I wanted to control things. It was like a thing to say to the world, to say to God, to say to the universe, to say to to people within my life that, hey, I can do this on my own, by myself. Oh, really? Really? This is so far from the truth than we all know. we can't do it by ourselves. We can't do it without God. And that is the premise of this broadcast, is to share with you my testimony, and that life is too short, yes. But once again, even though we do have our goals and we have our dreams, sometimes I would have to say that it all leads back to God if you allow yourself to surrender to the Lord. And once you're able to do so, God will bless you. He will show you out and tell you of something better, a better plan, more so better, more unbelievably, something that just could manifest more than you could ever believe. And that is so true within my situation. Once I allowed the Lord to come into my life, to take over, and as I began to surrender, I started to realize that there was further and farther, more things better than I could have ever planned. And the Lord established that for me here in the West Valley in Arizona. And I gotta say, it is so beautiful here. And I thank God, I am so grateful to the Lord for allowing me to have this opportunity to live in this beautiful place. The sunrises are so beautiful. The sunsets are just amazing. Talk about shivered skies. The people are just wonderful. It's a different culture here. It's a different world. It's a different quality of life. It is a quality of life that is just incomparable. Once more, life is too short. Give your reins to the Lord and surrender, and allow God to show out, to experience and witness the wonderfulness of our dear Lord, the Lord Almighty, in Jesus Christ. Amen. Well, so there you have it, dear listeners. Thank you for tuning in once more. This was such a joy to put together. And for all of you who would like to tune into our network here at Real Revolution Radio TV, the R3 TV News Broadcasting Network, please, by all means, visit our website at www.r3television.com. And if you have any particular questions for this particular broadcast or past broadcasts, by all means, send me a line at truthondemand@realrevolutionradio.com. And if you would like to learn or to experience what is happening within my own head as we speak, well, you can tune into my blog at www.walkawayfromthenewage.com. That's www.walkawayfromthenewage.com. And if you would like to, just give me a call and to kind of pick my brain with any particular thing concerning past and future broadcasts, by all means, give me a ring at 216-618-3252. And with that said, thank you for tuning in to QMR 2.0. God bless, and I'll see you soon.